All right, time for the next rocket roast then. This one comes from the boy Hybrid Firo.
I hate this guy.
God, here we go.
He made it, guys. He made it to the podcast. All right, shout out to Hybrid.
Fire dog.
So he said,
Finally back.
he's back, guys. You've asked for him, and we brought him back. Hybrid says, if ZA has starters outside of the Calo starters, then Snivy can't be a starter because Gen 5 remakes are coming this time. For real, no cap, no hopium copium. And then I responded by saying, oh, this is very big. I'm going to have to, oops, sorry, let me shrink it, shrink. All right. And then I responded saying, bro wants an appearance on the pod so bad. And he says, no, Black and White is coming back. Boys.
Dude, you are huffing the good stuff, dog, because you've been saying this for millennia. It ain't happening, Chief. Let it go. Let it go. It's done.
Black and
Hybrid,
White
I
is
love
coming
you,
back
bro,
on
you need
Nintendo
more speed.
Online as a bonus. It ain't coming back as a remake.
Guys, but
Not
what
yet,
if
at least.
what if the 1% chance is true? What if we do get the games? How are we gonna feel about that?
It's cool, but I almost like maybe just because like the bar set so low, I'm just expecting an Ilka style Black and White game and just calling it a day.
Yeah.
Like
If they do Black and White 3, then God knows.
Black and White are my favorite.
because
They're
then
my favorite
my
games, but I'm just not looking forward to a remake. Honestly, I'm just
'cause
not
then my-
looking forward to it.
the question is like we kind of have the issue I guess with like Diamond Pearl Platinum is obviously they should have went with Platinum, but because they are pretty separate stories, do you go Black and White or do you do Black and White 2? Or are you going to give us DLC on a remake game for Black and White 2 content?
They ain't
Like,
doing
there's
that.
there's a lot of like different questions that come with just giving us Black and White, and I don't think it's just as simple as like as this. Because I don't know. And then also, like, what does the game look like? Are we going to do something as simple as the Ilka style game again, pretty much a 1-to-1 carbon copy? That wouldn't be a bad thing. We like Black and White, but is that what we're anticipating? I don't
Pokemon
know.
Legends Black and White.
Bruh.
That's probably what it's-
My biggest problem
be
is
nice.
that like my favorite games are Black 2 and White 2, and it's like, yeah, Black and White remakes are cool, but I feel like Black 2 and White 2 kind of complete Generation 5, and I don't think they're gonna remake Black 2 and
They're
White 2.
Never touching those
I'll be
games
right back.
again.
Like, so it's just, it
again.
feels weird. You're just gonna I don't know, like, I'd rather have no remakes at that point. Like, just give us like
Yeah.
you made the joke, like Legends Black and White, Legends Unova, or whatever. I'd take that honestly over just revisiting Unova, because they're not touching Black 2 and White 2. So why are you just giving me half of the Gen 5 experience?
Yeah.
Just give us the original Dragon stuff.
I love Gen
Okay.
5, but I just don't want them remade. It's as simple as that.
They're literally perfect the way they are. Don't
Yeah.
make some. Don't
I
fix
also
them.
just okay. The other thing is like we're still not that far away from Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Like, why does everybody think that we're due for remakes already? Like,
Yeah.
Fire Red Leaf Green came out in 2004. Heart Gold Soul Silver was what 2010?
9 and 10, I think, between there.
Nine,
So, yeah,
was
like-
it 9 in Japan?
I think
We need some gap.
It might
No,
have been 9 in
Black
Japan.
and White was 2010 here. It was 2010.
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe.
initial release 2009 it says. in Japan.
2009 in Japan.
2009
Okay,
in Japan.
so 5 years between those. Oras is 2014. That's another 5 years. So BDSP was 2021.
Oh, forget
Obviously,
Let's Go.
Let's Go is an outlier.
It's a
Don't lie to
remake.
them.
It's a remake. It counts.
It's a remake, but it's an outlier. Like they kind of just made it to capitalize on Pokemon Go. Like I don't think they made it out of necessity.
Gen 1.
But-
Super missing.
So like the earliest we get Black 2, White 2, or Black and White remake, whatever, would be 2026. I would think. There's no shot it happens this year.
I just feel like
Even
well,
so, it shouldn't
30th
happen this
anniversary
year.
thing.
It shouldn't. Like they should just focus on ZA this year and focus on Gen 10 next year, and then maybe 2027 we get Black and White.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give us a good
That's
game,
fine.
you know.
I feel like two main series games in the same year. Yeah, they did it with BDSP and Legends Arceus, but those
But
those
one
games kind of
were
one
related.
one
Yeah.
suffered.
like there is no like, oh, XY remake before ZA or something like that. Like they're two completely like different like regions, two different stories. It just feels weird, and we've been waiting for ZA for such a long time. Obviously, it would feel kind of weird to like overshadow that or like steal some of the spotlight to be like, hey, we're also giving you Black and White. Like, bro, give me the game I've been waiting over a year for. Unless this game is coming out next week, I don't want to hear about another game right now. You know what I'm saying?
Focus
True.
on one thing.
Yeah, don't take away the hype from ZA. I think That's cool and all. And I think we can't forget that we did get some pandering and some love to Unova with Blueberry Academy. Like it obviously was there. Like music to characters, to offsprings of characters. Like we already got some love from it. I don't think they need to necessarily touch on it, like especially right away. Right? Focus on Kalos. ZA. Kalos needs love. Give it the love it needs after everything we've learned and heard and seen. Give it its dedication. Push that game out for a while. Like we don't need it. Plus, and then that gives them time to sort out what they want to do with, again, splitting the game up, not splitting the game up, being Ilka versions. I don't know.
See, you said a good word there, Julie. You said need. Like, do we need black and white remakes?
No.
Like, not really.
I think
If
it's
you've
the way
never
they are.
played regular black and white, okay, kinda, I get it, because it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to find those like pre-gen like 6 games now. But at the same time, like we had like you said, we got a lot of Unova love in the Blueberry Academy. Like, I feel like they've done a good job at like giving love to each Pokemon region, even if they aren't necessarily like a remake. Like, you can argue that, you know, the Teal Mask and Kitakami, that's kind of like Johto-esque. You know, we got a lot of Johto Pokemon there. So that's like already with Scarlet and Violet, we got Johto representation, we got Unova representation. We don't got a full game, but at least it's there. Like, I don't think we need black and white. You know, Kalos is now getting its love. That's great. The last thing I want, and you know, we know that Kalos needs its love. The games, like a lot of things we learned from the leaks, got scrapped for years. We've been saying we needed a Pokemon Z. It just feels weird to just kind of be like, I know you've been waiting for Kalos, but we got Unova coming. It's like, no, bro, stop.
After all the Gen 2 Pokemon that have evolved in Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet, revisiting Johto would be kind of hype, because now you'd have Farigiraf, you'd have the Dunsparce, you would have like
Yeah,
all these weird, maybe, I don't know, they took Weird Year out of Scarlet and Violet for God knows what reason, but I mean, you'd have so many new Pokemon to play with in the Johto region that it would actually be kind of cool. Whereas, like, going back to Unova, you'd have King Gambit. Like, that'd be weird. That'd be weird if it was just all Unova Pokemon plus King Gambit.
Yeah, see, that's not enough.
Oh, wait, and Mega Audino? Hold up.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know.
oh my.
Like, there's
Yeah,
not really
don't
anything
fix
to
it.
add. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
If you want to give
think
it a sequel, then fine.
if Pokemon's learned one thing, or hopefully they've learned one thing, let the games breathe. Like, it's fine to put a game out and make people wait a little bit for it. All right, you guys have done it years before. Like, I get it, obviously sales and things of that nature. Business is business. Meet business needs. But I think in the scope of like the most recent years, we've been getting game after game, and some feeling more unfinished than others. It's fine to let it breathe and like let the game prosper. So I am really hoping that there's not a situation like that where we're like, oh yes, Legends EA, hope you guys enjoyed the trailer. We have one more thing. Black and White 2, baby. Amazing. It's the remakes of the games you guys want. It's like, dog, you did not need to show this right now. Like, nowhere near.
I ain't gonna be screwed
Yeah.
for that one.
It's too much compacted into one, and we don't want to overshadow ZA. It needs its hype. It needs its time. There's no way that you let us wait a year just to then hype up another game anyway. That's just insane.
there's also
There's
the
a lot of
fact that, like, what was that, Ref?
No, I was just gonna say, like, it could bring a lot of damage to the game's reputation as well, because it's just gonna get, like Jalil said, outshadowed by another game that we don't need.
Yeah. And like, what I was gonna say is like, we don't really like follow the formula anymore of like, oh, let's remake the games per generation, because everyone thought that we were getting either Johto or Unova, which I guess are the oldest games or regions that we have that like have to kind of come up to new hardware and stuff like that. They've already broken the formula by just skipping all the way to Gen 6 love. So like, it'd be kind of weird or redundant to be like, all right, let's go back to the formula. Next is Unova. It's just kind of like, let them do their own thing. They're doing ZA for a reason. Let them do what they got to do. Like, we don't have to have a remake have this formula all the time. Like, it made sense back in the day. Shout out to John, who made a remake video not too long ago. How like back then they used to do the remakes because, you know, to kind of fill in the gaps of like the Pokedex and Pokemon you couldn't transfer. Or like, you know, yeah, it was mostly for that, like for the Pokedex. But now we don't really need that. Like I said, we got Unova, we got a lot of Unova stuff in Indigo Disc.
The monkeys haven't been on the Switch yet.
They don't need to be.
The monkeys should not be the sole reason for us to get Black and White remake.
No.
They could easily just throw them in ZA and call it a day.
Imagine they come out in the Pokemon Presents and like, guys, it has come to our attention. The Patrat and the monkeys have not been in a Switch game, so we're remaking Black and White. Like, that's the only reason.
And I think to attest to that, I think spacing also just adds back value to having like these rare feeling Pokemon. Like, recently thinking, I was like, starter Pokemon are like practically common at this point. I remember they used to be rare occurrences you would have an extra starter. Nowadays, dog, I can breed like 100 extra Chimchars in like 10 minutes and I'm good. It just now they're just common Pokemon. I kind of miss the idea of like these are rare. These are not your common everyday Pokemon. Let's kind of savor them in between these generations. Now I just pick up Incineroar when I want to. It's not needed.
Ruined.
Yeah. The only bright side is like if Ilka do make faithful Black and White remakes, they can't mess it up because Black and White are already good. They messed up by choosing Diamond and Pearl over Platinum, but there is no inferior version of Black and White. Black and White are just good. So even if it is just 1-to-1 Black and White, it's still just Black and White. But I just want my Black 2 and White 2. Are you gonna give me that too? Probably not. So I don't want Black and White. You can keep that to yourself.
Black 1.5. That's what it is. Black and White 1.5.
Bro.
0.5.
All right.
Well, Hybrid, we respect your attempt to get back on the pod, but we still think you're kind of crazy for it.
Hell no.